Hey everybody. Hey Sinistello. I can't see on this page that you got first, but I checked my dashboard and it shows there. Hey Blazes. So we're gonna work on the Enchanter perks. We started this stuff, we just didn't get done. Well, we did the design. We didn't even start coding, I guess. Yeah. So let's modify this. Adam is going to work on the Enchanter perks, spells and perks. Hey Zay. We are learning live. I don't even think I made a new branch. No, I didn't. Git checkout -b enchanter perks. All right, so we're on the new branch. Let's also fill out the journal before I forget. Finished the slime perks and started working on the enchanter perks. Looks good. Let's get started. Add perk for faster mana regeneration. All right, let's go start by putting in the bulletin board, doing all this stuff. So we have, where is this? Enchanter Den. We got to figure out where we're putting this stuff. Also, we can rearrange this, because I guess this is a little bit... Actually, we don't really need to rearrange stuff. Let's not worry about that too much. Let's just get this looking good enough for right now. I apologize just for the keyboard. It'd be nice if I could watch this and also, like, have the same thought process, but I think I'd get distracted watching myself type. This is what it looks like when I'm looking down and typing. Yeah, it's probably more interesting just watching the camera. All right, so we put in a bulletin board in the recycler thing. We're gonna do the same thing over here. Bulletin board. And then make it unique and move it over here. Kind of want to move all of this stuff over now. These three things. Oh, we can do that, but then we also need to move this over too. What is this? Why isn't this just a rectangle? I think it can just be a rectangle. I also think we need to change this at some point anyway. But collision shape 2D, rectangle. Did this inherit from something? No, it didn't. I don't understand. Yeah. Okay, anyway, we just do something like that. Okay, let's try that. Nothing's gonna use this code, obviously. We're just gonna see if the scene looks good. So load. Did it work? Yeah, it worked. Save. Cool. Yeah. We can still hover over this. We don't do anything weird in here. Yep. Yep, yep. Okay. Looks good. So now we have that. Now we need to go fetch all of this stuff. Do it just like we did for the recycler. Bulletin board. Opened perks. Oh, there are no events for the Enchanter Den? Wow. Oh, where do these go? Above? Man, I've never tried streaming like this and just not talking. I wonder what that would feel like. I wonder if I'd get as tired or if I'd be more productive or something. I think the stream would be less interesting. So I think people would probably tune out faster. But yeah, I wonder what that's like. All right, anyway, there we go. So we got that. Anything else we need here? I don't think so. I think the important part is that we have a perks thing somewhere. All right, so anyway, this gets called, and then the town listens for it. Actually, I don't think the town. This thing listens for it. So we need to know when you unlock the Enchanter's Den, which means the town needs to know that on Create Enchanter. There's nothing. All right, well, let's go make something then. Done. Okay, unlocked Enchanter. Unlocked Recycler. Good. We listened to that from over here. Yeah, there's a lot of just boilerplate. I think when you have boilerplate like this, it typically points to needing to refactor something, but Kevin's probably doing some of that work in a different branch. So I don't want to mess with this too much. Toggler, Enchanter, perks, visibility. Yeah, a lot of this is going to change. Enchanter, perks. In fact, why didn't I make something that does this for everything? Yeah, I guess because it wouldn't have been important. I should actually just know that I want this here. Yeah, it does. And then we just need to fetch this. In fact, it should know what that line is as well. Nice. Lunch was good. Had the rest of a sandwich and a chocolate bar I'd never had before. What was this? I've seen this brand before, but I never actually had this until just now. It was this one. I don't know which one it was called. Anyway, it was pretty good. Okay, now we gotta go fetch Enchanter perks. So let's do Recycler perks, save as Enchanter perks, rename all of this stuff. Good. Good. Oh, they're not really an enchanter anymore. Did I ever talk about that? I don't know if I did. They're more like a wizard or something. I think it might have been an everything bar because I looked at the ingredients and it said like pretzel and caramel and a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, now we go make that. Let's probably also close out of some of this stuff. Okay, town. This goes into UI, which really goes into overlay visibility controller. It's not there. It's in UI, I guess. And we make another one of these. Perk. Yeah. And then we just name it the right thing. It is Enchanter perks. And give it the right script. Okay, so if I am not mistaken, we should have done hopefully all of that correctly. So what's going to happen is we'll have the recycler, we'll have the garbage slimes perks inside of a board called Enchanter perks, but loading it up and everything should be fine now. So let's go test that. Why is the camera over there? Did I not save? Maybe I moved the screen. Object not set to an instance. I forgot to initialize this. Whoops. Well, you can't get everything right the first time. Can't always, at least. Where does this get initialized? Cycler, perks, init. Here. Perk trees. Ah, I see. This is Enchanter perks. Yeah. Anywhere else we use that before I forget? Nope. I do like peanut butter and chocolate. I think they go very well together. And those are pretty much my favorite cookies are these. They're so good. Best cookie. It's a peanut butter cookie and a Hershey's Kiss on it. But yeah, they're so tasty. I don't even know what the second best cookie is. Because that one's just so far in the lead. But honestly, a good chocolate chip cookie is pretty good. Oh, I know what it is. It's an M&M cookie. I don't know what it is about there being an M&M in a cookie and not just a chocolate chunk. I guess having the candy shell helps. Man, those are good. Trader Joe's peanut butter cups. I'm not the biggest fan of those. I'm really just not the biggest fan of Trader Joe's in general, I think. I just, yeah, I don't know. It's not like it's all bad. I'm not like, oh boy, Trader Joe's. Yeah, let's go back to this. We can just load. Nice. Okay, cool. So it says Enchanter perks, and we got this stuff in there. So that's not an actual perk. Falling off the wagon. I haven't been following any of that stuff. I guess what I mean is like they have some prepared foods that just don't taste so great. And then I got their apples the other day, and they're like the tiniest apples. And they weren't very tasty. Hey, boys of grog. Snickerdoodles? Snickerdoodles are pretty good. Huh. Interesting. I always picture snickerdoodles as like the fluffier kinds, like this kind, not these flattened kinds. Yeah. Yeah. Snickerdoodles have cinnamon, right? Yeah, cinnamon sugar. I love cinnamon sugar. Cinnamon is a dessert spice to me. My wife grew up having cinnamon in like regular savory food. So she doesn't associate it with sweet stuff as much and doesn't like it as much as I do. Well, she likes cinnamon, just not in sweet stuff. Because you have choices. If you live where I do, you'd really want a Trader Joe's. Yeah, probably. But man, I eat like 2 apples a day. I want my apples to taste good. Not getting them from Trader Joe's anymore. Costco's pretty good about them though. All right, so we added the perk board. Now we need to actually add some perks. So mana regeneration. Let's go to game icons on net and search for mana. Maybe a crystal? Because it's represented by the crystal. Yeah, maybe this. Anything else that could potentially be there? Floating crystal, minerals. Oh, that one's not bad. No, those are all the ones we have. So this one versus this one. I think this one's a little bit clearer. Town and country. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Wait, don't you live in the area? How have I not heard of this? I'll pick this one for now. That's fine. Crystal growth. Okay, let's put this over here now. And this is made by Lork. Icon ID. This goes beneath crowned skull. Crystal growth. Yep. Now we need Enchanter mana regen. Where do we put these perks? Critical eats, save. Yeah, I guess a player skill, that's fine. These be called neighborhood market. Oh, I see, like Valley Market. Oh, interesting. I wonder if I've been to one of those then and just never realized. All right, what are you calling this? Mana regeneration? Sure. And how do we theme this? How's mana regeneration done right now? Mana. Oh, the mana crystal handles it? On timer timeout. Mana equals mana regenerated per second. What's that right now? 1. Okay, well, it shouldn't be an int. It should probably be a float. Please tell me this is a float. It's an int. Oh, I did that so we didn't need to show floating point numbers, but does anybody really care? Because I don't like that you have 400 max mana and spells cost 120. It was just so that you'd have 3 casts and then you had to wait for a little bit. And so that we wouldn't need to use floating point numbers. Man. All right, well, I guess if we want to come up with like easy to figure out numbers, we could say that you have 1,000 max mana and spells cost 400. Because I only want you to have 2 casts now. Even then, I'm not sure that's a good idea. Hey, Matt. But if I'm gonna, so I guess you could take this in both directions, right? If you're gonna have these same ratios, you could have 10 max mana and 4 mana per spell. And then use floating points and you just never see this thing rise. So I guess the question is, how long should we wait until you have enough for 1 cast? That should dictate what numbers we use. How long should it take for you to get enough mana for 1 spell? And originally, I think the answer was 2 minutes. Yeah, it was 2 minutes. All right, what do I want it to be set to? We're going to allow you to improve the mana regeneration rate. So whatever it starts at is not what it has to end at. And we're also going to allow you to auto cast spells so that you don't need to pay attention to this. So I think having it start at 2 minutes is probably good. In which case, every second you're going to see your mana go up by 1/3 of a mana. We could just show fractional mana. Decimal place. How do I feel about that? You'd show 40.3 mana. Do other games ever do that? They have fractional decimal or fractional mana values? Because obviously we can just multiply by 10 and have it work all the exact same way and just use integers. But no, I think it'd be weird to show fractional mana. I can't think of a game off the top of my head that does it. And probably there's something out there, but who cares? All right, so then yeah, let's go with integers. So then what am I going to do here? We're going to make it 100 and I mean, if we wanted to take 2 minutes at first, then the minimum it would have to cost for you to see 1 mana per second would be 120 mana. And it's just a weird value. Although if you start increasing this by a fractional amount anyway, God, why is it such a difficult decision? All right, so let's say we said it was 1,000 mana and you have 400 mana cost. Then 400 divided by 120 is 3. So you get 3.3 mana per second. It just doesn't, you can't really figure this out all that easily if you're just looking at it. I guess that's going to be the problem no matter what we do, right? Unless we're doubling the amount of mana you get. I guess what we could say is it starts at 3 mana per second and then it goes to 4 and then to 5. Or 3 to 5 to 7 or something. All right, fine. Mana generated per second is 3, I guess. Where's your maximum mana? Max mana, there it is. Max mana is 1,000. Spell cost is 400. Yeah. Okay. That'll do it. And now we take this out of here. So they're all integers. It's not really going to change too much. Where'd our mana thing go? Here it is. Okay, so list int mana per second values. So it starts at 3, then let's say 4, 5, 6. I think it should go up by more than that. And get mana per second. This just returns an int. And just returns this. Done. Okay, ability description, mana per second. Delete this. Delete this. Set this to mana values. Okay, what's the description we write for this now? Your mana crystal recharges faster, allowing you to cast spells more frequently. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, now let's go plug this into the Enchanter perks. So this is the only Enchanter spell we have right now. I don't care about the cost too much. So let's set them to that. And let's try it out. Oh wait, we gotta load up Godot really fast. There. Is it loading? Oh, it broke. Game console. Oh yeah, I didn't fix that. So mana regen equals enchanter dot mana. What? No. Enchanter mana get We don't even have player abilities here. Yeah, the mana crystal doesn't know anything about the town. But the Enchanter Den does. So we could just initialize the mana crystal with that. We didn't even have it in it for it. Well, the town exists, right? Yeah, it does. All right, so mana crystal is set here, and it does this. We initialize this thing. I could also just pass in player abilities. Doesn't really make too much of a difference. Town equals town. Put this up by ready. This doesn't inherit for anything, does it? It does. But this doesn't need an init, does it? No. That's fine. So now we need to save the town. Town saved from evil. And then we just use this over here. So that's your mana regen. We add the mana regen. We don't let it go beyond max. And we're done. Okay, let's try running that. This should just work. So we should have our 1 perk. Yeah, there it is. We should be getting 3 mana per second. Yeah, 415, 418. All right, now I improve this by 1 level. Now it should be going up by 4. Good. Improve it by 1 more level. Now it should go by 5. And we improve it by 1 more level. Goes up by 6. Then I save and load, and it should get restored that way. Yeah, nice. Okay, so what does this end up being? We're saying 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you have 400 mana. So 400 divided by 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is how many seconds it would take. Let's just delete the decimal places here. To cast 1 spell. That means even at the highest level, it's more than a minute. Shaving off 30 seconds at first is pretty significant. Then shaving off 20 seconds is pretty significant, but shaving off 13 is not so bad, or not so much. So maybe we go up to 7 mana, and then maybe 1 more level for 10. 10 would be 40 seconds. And at 7, it is 57 seconds. Yeah. Let's start with that, I guess. So 3, 4, 5, 7, 10. Where'd the... Here it is. 3, 4, 5, 7, 10. And then we just need the Enchanter perks to reflect that. So it's 3, 4, 5, 7, 10. Yeah, that's to be it. Okay. Hey, Gom. Oops. Yeah, I have plenty of commands. Thankfully, they're all on this site, and you can just search through them if you want. A lot of people ask about the keyboard or what game am I making. All right. So... is there anything else I want to do with this? I don't think so. Where are those values I wrote down? Here? Yeah, I've mentioned this a bunch of times on stream, but you can design things perfectly and they might not feel right. And it's not, I guess it kind of is a problem with the design, but it's that you can't really validate the design entirely on paper. Maybe 40 seconds feels fine when you can auto cast spells, but it doesn't feel fine before then. But you can stack up a certain amount of mana. In fact, you know what would be nice is if this upgraded not only your mana regeneration, but also the maximum mana you could hold. That would be kind of interesting. What if this also increased the max mana you could have? So you start at 500 mana, and each upgrade, let's say you start at 600, and each upgrade is plus 100 mana, max mana. I think that would feel more impactful, even though it's practically the exact same system. So I think we should do it. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to write that down for later, though. I don't think it's super important to do right now. but I think it would be nice to do. Consider making the mana regen perk also give plus max mana. It could start you at 600 max and give plus 100 per level. This would make the perk feel more impactful. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, well, the first bit of this is done. Yeah, might as well run .NET format as we go. Add perk for faster mana regen, done. Now let's look at the code. Added a picture, that's fine. Added the bulletin board to the Enchanter den, moved some things to the left, that looks good. Added an Enchanter perk to the UI, made it hidden by default. Added a new perk. Perk has a way of getting the mana per second. We changed the mana values, not super important. Opening this through clicking the board. Yeah. Yeah. Everything's looking pretty good. Enchanter, yep. Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, looks good. All right, so add first Enchanter perk. It increases your mana regeneration. Yeah, I tweaked the mana values a bit to make the numbers slightly cleaner. 400 mana and 120 per spell cast felt weird. Oh, well, let me run this one more time and just make sure. So now our mana regeneration rate, I think, is whatever the number before 10 was, 7. So if I load the game, it should be at 7 per second. So let's cast some spells. Yeah, and then I can upgrade this once more now. And now it'll go to 10. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So if I were to speed this up to 8 times speed, yeah, that's filling pretty quickly. Granted, 8 times speed for anything in the game would make it seem fast. But yeah, then you can cast 2 spells and you have to wait an extra 20 seconds to cast another one. Yeah, whatever, good enough start. Okay, next up, change loop magnet perk so that it duplicates an item. If you don't have an item to duplicate, maybe you could create one of the recent ones that you found. All right, let's think about this for just a little bit before we do this. Duplicating an item. So the problem is that this requires an item, which means you can't cast the spell if you don't have one. And also there's no duration on this item. It'd be kind of interesting if when you cast this, it just had a random chance every second of duplicating any items you already had, but that would get out of control super quickly. So what I'm thinking is it requires you to have an item somewhere. I'm not even sure. Maybe it'd have to be in your warehouse or something. Or on the ground. Probably just in your warehouse, but then it might drop on the ground. Yeah, that's the problem with any of this stuff. Problem with creating a new item is that there are scenarios where the item would have to drop on the ground. And you might not be expecting that, and it might drop in a weird location. So for example, if I fill up my warehouse and then I duplicate this cloak, it has nowhere to go. Well, now it does. But imagine that wasn't open. It would just drop it on the ground. And I don't really think that in itself is a problem. It's just you wouldn't want this to drop way over here. So if you drop it in the warehouse, then like players wouldn't even know to look there, so their worker would have to come and pick it up. And it wouldn't be close enough to the slime for you to automatically recycle it. I'm so torn. This sounded like a good idea. And I still like the idea. Okay, so let's write down what some of the problems are here. Problems. This requires an item Two is that when creating a new item, there are scenarios where the item would have to drop on the ground. If it drops near the original item, then it could be far enough from the slime where it would look weird to get vacuumed in. But on the flip side, if it drops too far from the original item, it may not be obvious which item was duplicated. We can come up with solutions for both of these things. It just does make me wonder, is this a good idea or not? And I kind of don't think it is. What if we just didn't rework Loot Magnet? The way it's currently written is it's a 33% chance to double the items you get from a battle for 30 seconds. If we just kept it that way and we just allowed you to change the chance. The thing is, there are three things we could change here pretty easily. The chance, the doubling could be tripling or quadrupling, and the duration. What if it was, okay, what if it was this? What if it was like loot duplication? Duplicates the next item you find from a battle. Something like that within 30 seconds, I guess. Summons a duplication magic circle and the player can use that for a while. Or a number of uses. I think I'd want this to not require player input beyond just clicking the spell book. This is kind of interesting. It can't be the next X items. Well, it can be, I guess. And then how does this work with stacking items, I wonder? Duplicates the next X items you find from battle. I don't want this to just store charges necessarily. You could also burn through the spell pretty quickly if we didn't just have a duration on it. That's another thing I'm not sure how I feel. I kind of want this to have a duration. I want this to affect loot somehow. And ideally for it to have a duration so that you can't just burn through all of your mana super quickly on one spell. Hey, Potro. How do you get VS Code Quick Picker down in the editor? Yeah, I learned that you can just drag it. You should just be able to click the top of it and move it. And yeah, I think it makes sense to have it in the middle of the screen so you're not always looking slightly up to see it. Duration. Got to be based on items you already would have found. So it's not producing brand new items for you. I don't even think I realized it was draggable. I think an update did it. And I like reading through all the update notes. There's usually a pretty good chance that one out of every like 2 updates has a feature that I want to use. So it's worth looking into. The last one that I found that I thought was really nice is next edit suggestions, where you make something here like private, whatever, node equals null. So I wrote a line of code and now it didn't do anything. But a lot of times it'll just automatically know like, oh, you just defined this. So now probably over in ready, you want to use it. And now that I move my cursor here, it knows, but it should be able to figure out what I want to do next. And this time around, it just didn't. But yeah, it can propose suggestions that are elsewhere in the code. God, I'm so torn on this. I don't like the idea that there's a chance that this thing pays off. But if we force duplicate an item, then you might get a rare item that then gets doubled. I don't know. Maybe we just keep this the way it is for right now. We wouldn't need to retheme this spell. Yeah. So it'll just be a % chance for you to double the items you get from battle. Okay, sure, whatever, fine. So get rid of this. Loot spell, increase the chance to double items. Yeah, this has been done. All right. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, okay, let's do this stuff. So allow upgrading each spell. We have customer spell, worker spell, loot spell. Do we already have, we have some icons for these in the game. I think we're going to reuse those. Shiny loot, customer speed, swift shoes. Yeah. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Problem is we can't mix both of these, can we? No, we'd have to customize, just like in Town Perks, how we modulate these. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. All right, let's start with the customer spell then. So this is going to be a new ability ID that is Enchanter Customer Spell Potency. And then we save this. Okay, so what are going to be the values that we have here? Game constants. Customer speed bonus per spell. I'm going to delete that. But it used to start at 50%. I think starting at 50% is pretty good. Speed bonus values. So the first level is going to be 50%. We got to be a little bit careful here because these can start to get pretty fast. So let's do that and then stop. Yeah. Now, what do we call the customer spell in the game? Called shopping spree. Okay, so we're going to call this shopping spree potency. The icon is going to be whatever we use for shopping spree. I don't know what that is. We didn't call it shopping spree either. We probably called it like customer speed bonus or something. Yeah. What icon do you use? Customer speed. Okay, well, that's easy. That sounds good. It sounds good. Yeah, cool. All right, all that stuff's good. So now it's get speed bonus. And this just returns that. That's a float. All right, what do we say? Speed bonus here. I think that's how we do this everywhere else. And it's a percentage. And it takes these. And we have to just write what this is. Your shopping spree spell increases customer speed even further. Yeah. Okay. Now in Enchanter perks, we add the perk to the board. Just put this here. Enchanter spell. Cool. We only need 2 costs. And then we only need to do this for one of these, which we do in town perks, like so. So we just put that there. And that's going to be the mana regen one. All right, let's try that out. So the spell doesn't work yet. I didn't make it work, but I did make it show up on the board. And now the icon should look correct. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta fix this. All right, so customer speed bonus from spells. This is being used from the Enchanter Den. We get this from here. We don't need it to be from the Enchanter Den, though. We don't even cache this, do we? No. But I think it does make sense to get this from here still. So it's not number of speed spells. It's like, is the spell active? And if it's not active, we just don't do anything. If this is not active, return 0. And if it is active, then return the Enchanter spell potency. Seriously? Dot get speed bonus. How not player abilities. Okay. And then I guess we can return it this way. Now it says from spells. I guess it's really just from spells or spell, excuse me, but we could just reframe it to customer speed bonus altogether and not have, let's just delete the S. Yeah. Well, let's not delete anything. Hey, Tiny. If I wanted to start my adventure in the world of games, starting with knowledge in TypeScript and Angular, where would you recommend starting? Guides, tutorials, or courses? So what I would suggest is just pick a game engine, download it, and then mess around for a bit. So for example, if you like Godot and I'm using Godot, just go to your search engine, type in Godot, click download at the top, and you're pretty much done. Then open it up and just kind of see what you're looking at. At some point, then look at a combination of everything you pretty much said. Some of the documentation, maybe a tutorial online. And with Godot, I think the getting started guide is great. It usually is for game engines, by the way. This is not a Godot specific thing, but even the Unity getting starting guide I think is great. I highly recommend reading at least this one thing here, the nodes and scenes page. It's not very long and it tells you a lot of foundational knowledge for Godot. But yeah, as far as just kind of getting started, it's like then the world is your oyster. You can mess around with just kind of how do I move things in the game? How do I whatever make some UI, those sorts of things. And I think it's fun and it's pretty immediate satisfaction if you already know how to code. You mentioned TypeScript and Angular, and so maybe you were hoping for something more along those lines. If you are, there are web-based game engines like Phaser that you could use, but I don't really recommend those. I recommend just a standard game engine that can export to the web if you wanted to. So if you start out with Godot, you'll probably be using GDScript at first, and I think it's a good intro to Godot. I think it's a good way of getting started. So that's what I would recommend, and just see where that takes you. And then you could always follow along with this if you want. This is not necessary and you already have coding experience, but if you're just diving into games, this has a list of games and increasing complexity that you can tackle. So it starts with Pong. If you already know how Pong works and you already know how to code, this is probably gonna be a cinch for you. So it's gonna let you just learn the game engine. And then from there, you're gonna start to get to games that are a little harder just to even code. Like Minecraft, even you know coding is probably not the easiest thing for you to make. So it's gonna be, this is just for ideas. It's nice to look at these sorts of things. And the thing that I always mention to people is if you're trying to learn game coding, you shouldn't also try to pair that with design at first. So this cuts out all the design stuff. You don't need to design Jetpack Joyride because it's an existing game and you can just take everything that they did. Obviously not try to produce your own Jetpack Joyride clone, but if you're just doing it to learn, I think that's totally fine. How's it going, Windy? Any follow? Okay, so customer bonus from spells should just work. Let's try building this. And actually, this should just do everything I need, except for this. It says grants a % bonus. This now needs to come from, oh man, how's this gonna work? This needs to come from your abilities. So we probably shouldn't put this in the data. Description, where's the description used? We could just populate it with whatever variables we need. But we need a string.format format there and we need to know what this should be. If they all got formatted with the same thing, then that would be fine. I guess the spellbook could return its own description. In fact, I'm not even certain why we, oh, because we show the mana cost. Okay, how do I want to do this? Maybe it's just something that takes in the player abilities. Maybe it's a function that returns a string. We could do that. My day's going pretty well so far. I don't think it was like ultra productive, but I think it's been going well. Hey, Mr. D-Boy, are we making similar games? Oh, we are making similar games. That was my question. I was gonna say, I don't know what you're making. What are you making? Yeah, I think this has to be a function that takes in the player abilities and then returns the description that we have. So how do we do that? Make an action abilities component. How does this work? I don't know. There's a way of passing callbacks around. I guess we should search for callback. We should find something. It's just action question mark callback. C# specify action that takes an argument and returns something. I get a return value. I think actions are void by default, right? So we have to use func. Okay, got it. That's fine. Func. And is the second thing the return type? Yep. And now we just need some import for that, I hope. Hooray! Does it work? Yeah, it works. Right. Okay, cool. Skeleseller. That sounds very similar. All right, so get description takes in the player abilities and returns a thing that gets your customer speed bonus from the ability. So in this case, it's going to be the Enchanter spell potency dot get speed bonus player abilities P0. And all that should hopefully work. I don't know why there's red here. Player abilities is not null here. I don't know, whatever. Let's just keep working on this then. So then this is going to be a function that takes in player abilities and just returns a constant string. And same thing with this. Oh, nice. I already knew what I wanted. That was the next edit suggestion thing. What am I doing wrong here? Get speed bonus all needs to be inside of this. It looks like it's correct. Is this not build? Spell data does not contain a definition for description. What? Oh, accepting a first argument of type spell data. Oh, wait, I see. Yeah. Where's the description line? 232 of what file? Oh, right, of course. Oh my God. I didn't change the color. This is get description. And this needs to take in the town's player abilities. Yeah, there we go. Man. Looking long term, making Skeleseller. I think Skeleseller is going to be a good game. All right, so please tell me this works. This now says grants 50%, and if we upgrade it, it should say 75%. Perfect. Left the link in show and tell in your Discord. You can check out later. Yeah, cool. I'll take a look. Gotta target those businesses. Hey, Buddha. Are you using a state machine for the NPCs? Yeah. Okay, is this working? The customers are there. Oh, they're already moving pretty fast to begin with. But now if we click this book, they should move even faster. And then if I upgrade this, do they move even faster than that? No, you can't upgrade the spell when it's already been cast. That might be considered a problem. Let's try that one more time. Load the game. Right now, what level are we? We're at 0. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go change the potency of that spell. So instead of going from 50% to 75%, it goes to 175%. So it's going to be very, very obvious when we've upgraded that. And then we're going to upgrade it. So we cast the spell first. Customers move a little bit faster. Then we upgrade the spell. Yeah, they do not move even faster. But if I let the book run out, and then I cast it again, they're now going to like be darting around the place. Yeah, look at that. Gotta buy, gotta buy, gotta buy, gotta buy. That's actually pretty cool. And if you're casting a spell to do that, I think it'd be okay. They are really hustling. All right, so if you can't upgrade or you can't, I'm not going to try to frame that sentence correctly. Question. Should the customers move faster when the spell is already cast and you upgrade the spell? And I think the answer is yes. I just can't imagine why it could possibly be no. It's just more code. So all it's doing is saving me some effort. So how do we do this? Let's go find out. The customer spell, here it is. Where is this applied? Update customers. Oh, you know what we could do? This should be very easy. Because we already have a perk that does this. Town perks has, there it is, customer speed. So we search for this and we have a reapply ability effect. Entity speed controller update customers. Yeah, this should be dead simple. Dead simple. Thank goodness I coded this. So we just put this here and we change it to, I think, level up. I don't remember what I called this. What I call it on ability level changed. Yeah, because originally ability levels could go down as well. And that should be it. Let's try that out. Let's set this back to 175%. Let's relaunch the game. Thanks, Mr. D-Boy. This was amazing. I'll just casually drop a wish list link in chat. Very casual. Okay, so level should be 0. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we have a bunch of customers going in. We're going to click the book, and then we're going to upgrade the skill, and now they should be darting around. Yeah, perfect. And if I upgrade it again, they're actually going to get slower because I was just testing this out. These should be monotonically increasing, and they're not. But that's okay, now they are. All right, that was very easy. So cool, we're done with 1 out of 3 spells. Oh, you know what? Now that we have this all being, that they all use durations, we could make a perk that says spells last for longer. But I think making them last for 30 seconds is fine. In fact, if I load the game, we could see 175% there if I do this. Yeah, that's nuts. We could be a little more aggressive with the speed bonuses. I just want to start small. Yeah, okay, cool. Customer spell, speed increase. We're done with that. Let's go check that in. Looks good. Looks good. Good, good, good. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. Allow upgrading, or I guess add Enchanter perk to upgrade spell. Just the customer's spell has upgrades for now. This involved changing the description property of spells to be a function that takes in the player abilities and returns the description. That way they can be modified by the level of your abilities. Also, when you upgrade this spell while it's active, customers will get updated properly. How do they slow down again at the end? Or is it town pre-made? So the way the town starts is like, well, wait, let me answer that question in a sec. Hang on, let me answer my own question first. Enchanter Den. Somewhere there's a spell becoming inactive. Where is that? Here it is. Update customers. Okay, yeah, this is all working. Cool. Check in. Okay, so what I was going to show you is this. This is what the game looks like when you first start it, which is that you have nothing in town. And it says that we need to build a guild. If you look around right now, you will see empty plots of land indicating where you can build stuff. That's not ideal. So yeah, if you fully zoom out, you see like a partially built town. And the story of the game is that you just kind of randomly stumbled on an unbuilt plot of land, so none of this should be here. But yeah, you do build everything up from scratch pretty much. So I build my guild, and then that lets me get my first adventurer. And then from there, I can do battles. And then you start earning items, and you build all the rest of the stuff in town. Do you hear about the TypeScript compiler? Yeah, someone posted about it in Discord. Excited about the improvements it'll have. Yeah, it sounds like it's major, like a 10x improvement in a lot of cases. And 10x isn't an exaggeration, I guess. It's really like 9x to 13x or something. Yeah, so after we get the guild, we win our first battle, then you build your first shop. And now that you have a shop, your skeleton can come stock the shop and customers will come over the bridge and buy your items. So yeah, this is all you end up with for the first like 5 minutes of the game. No, that's not true. You get the town hall as well. So once we have enough money, we can build the town hall, and that lets us start getting perks. Excuse me. So this is the way that you upgrade things in the game. And that's what we're working on over here too, is making it so that we fill out all these perks. So right now we only have 2, but by the end of today, we should have probably at least 4. Yeah, I think those sorts of tooling improvements are so important. I mean, really, the difference, they use VS Code as an example, and they said it was like 77 seconds to build, and it went down to 7.5 seconds. Can you imagine that kind of improvement? Like, it's one thing to go from 8 seconds down to 7, and you're probably still happy about that. But to shave off 70 seconds from your build time. And if you ever build multiple times per day, then yeah, now that's the difference between like getting up and taking a break and just like, oh, okay, I can wait 8 seconds. Yes, that's pretty great. Okay, so let's change these other 2. Worker spell, speed increases, possibly duration goes up too. We're gonna do pretty much the exact same things we just did. We're gonna make a new ability ID. That's not ability ID. Must have typed the wrong thing. We're gonna call this the worker spell potency. We go to our customer spell potency and say this is the worker spell. We gotta do that. Great. This needs the same icon that the other one had. What is that one called? Worker speed. Yeah, running shoe. Running shoe. Okay, and what's the ability called? Swift shoes. Swift shoe. Oh no, it's not called that. What is it called? Stocking frenzy. Cool. Cool. Oh, that shouldn't be like that. That should be data.id. Ooh. Ooh. We gotta fix that. It's just that I don't want to have to be copy pasting it all over the place. Let's search for the. Whoa, I didn't even do whatever I just did. Did I just close out of all of? No, I didn't. All right, let's search for this. What do we have? Good, not good. Data.id. Good, not good. Good. Oh, like half of these are good and half of them are not good. All right, that fixed them all. Basically puts an end to this. Yeah, I was thinking about this. Why no IDs for the display names? For display names, we will eventually localize this. Kevin's been working on something that'll sort of auto localize things. Not exactly, but kind of close enough to that, such that there will be message IDs in auto generated script. And we just haven't finished that work yet. But yeah, then eventually they'll be pulled from a file. What am I doing? I was getting the worker speed thing. Yeah, this. All right, so this isn't update customers. This is update workers and adventurers. And then the description needs to be something slightly different. Your stocking frenzy spell increases worker and adventurer speed even further. That's pretty much it. Now we go into game constants and we fix up a couple other things. So this goes away. The Enchanter then gets modified so that this is the same as this. It's the worker spellbook, and it is the Enchanter worker spell potency. All right, that's almost everything. The only other thing we have to do is is add that in. Done. Let's try it. Oh, I apparently needed this in one other spot. Oh yeah, right, of course. I only changed this up here. We need this to be here and then say worker. This is the weirdest indentation. Load. Let's get rid of the whole tutorial skipping thing that I did to show something off. Done. Okay, great. Yeah, so if I click this now, we now have a new spell here, or a new perk. Your Stalking Frenzy spell increases worker and adventurer speed even further. Okay, this is going to be a little bit harder to see, but if we click this, they're going to go up by 50%. And then if I upgrade these, they should go faster and faster. I think it worked, but it's pretty subtle because they went from, oh, they have a 0% speed boost. Okay, so I guess they went from exactly what we saw here. Yeah, it did look faster, I think. We can verify it for sure though by just changing the numbers like we did before. So set this to 175% increase. And now it should be unmistakable. Load the game. All right, so we click this. They move a little faster. But then we click this and they go into turbo speed. Yeah, that definitely worked. Yeah, nice. And like I said already, these are pretty conservative numbers here. Like a 50% speed buff is good, but then only upgrading it by another 25% is it's not super big. Okay, well, we're done with that. So let's check that in. Actually, before I do this, let's check in just these things, which changed the data IDs. Yeah, that should be everything, right? Yep. Cool. And then all of these should be new ones, right? Yes, great. Okay, so use data.id instead of hard-coded value. Good. And then this is add worker spell perk. Oh, that should be parameterized. All right, we'll do that in the next commit. Not going to fix that here. Yeah. Okay, so we got to go fix both of those. You just search for potency. Can you open this without closing this tab? That's not what I want. Can I do that? Is it maybe shift click? I just tried command click. No, why? There's no way to do that. I want to keep this dialog open, but I want to select multiple things in it. Yeah, I don't think you can do that. There's only one modifier I haven't tried yet, and it's control. No. Some just open it up in another split, which is nice, but yeah, I just want to open like 3 of these things at once. Oh, well. All right, so the thing I wanted to do here is get the display name of the corresponding spell. So string spell display name equals spell data dot get spell ID dot shopping spree. Why does none of this exist here? Yeah, shopping spree. It's not even called shopping spree. It's called customer. It's literally just called customer. And then get the display name. There's no display name. Are you kidding me? What's this? Oh, it's just name. Okay, sure. Name. So this turns into, oh, that's not right. Spell display name. Your shopping spree spell increases customer speed even further. Yeah. And then do the same thing for worker spell. This is going to be worker. We include all the same things, change that, sure. By the way, that's an example of next edit suggestion doing exactly what I want. I modified this line of code, and without even moving my cursor, it's like, hey, you probably want to change this next because that's what you did in the previous file. And I indeed do, so I do that, and now I can just move on with my life. All right, let's try that. We should have the proper tooltips with the spell names in them. All this is a minor cleanup, and it'll make it easier when we localize, so we're not defining these strings in multiple places. Stalking frenzy, shopping spree, stalking frenzy. Yeah, although now that I think about it, this is still coded that way, but I'm not going to worry about that. Pull spell names from spell data. All right, the final spell is the loot spell, which increases the chance to double your items. All right, let's go do it. What are the different spell IDs that we have? Item? Okay, we'll call this item spell potency. Then go into the worker spell potency and save this. And replace this stuff. All right, let's take a look. So item doubling chance per spell is 34%. Item doubling chances. So it started at 34%. Let's say it's 33%, and then 66%, and then 100%. So we're technically shortchanging you of 1/3% and then 2/3%, but I'm not going to show 33.3%, and I don't think people are going to care. So that's fine. All right, now what's this one called? Loot magnet potency. And instead of a running shoe, this one needs to use whatever you use for shiny loot, which is an open treasure chest. Open treasure chest. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Good item doubling chance. This is going to be item doubling chances. It already knew. Great. My 0.6%, it's actually 0.6 repeating. Hey, dead robot. This isn't needed. This should just automatically take place from battle, so we don't need to do anything here. Spell display name is the item display name. This is going to be drop bonus, item doubling bonus, doubling chance. Yeah. Your spell increases the chance to double items from battle even further. I don't think we need to even further. No. Inconsistent now. All right, we have a bunch of other little things to do, and I could just press the build key and figure out what those things are, but let's try not doing that and finding the mistakes myself. So this goes here. This is going to be get chance. It's item spell, get chance. What? That deleted a bunch of stuff. There we go. Sounds good. What next? Enchanter perks. Plug this in here. And what next? Enchanter den pulls this from a different location now. This is item spellbook is active. Pull this from the item potency doubling. Delete all of that. And now we just look at where is this used from. It should only be battles, I hope. Generate drops. Yeah, this is done only when you are done with a battle. So we don't need to update anything. All right, now let's try running. This one's much harder to test. So we load in our game. It's currently set to 33% chance. So let's start a battle in the forest. Forest typically drops 1 to 3 potions. So now, if it's doubled, it should drop 2 to 6. But it's not doubled right now. So we got 3, we got 1, we got 1. Cool. So now we're going to hit the double button. We got 1, we got 6, we got 1. So most of the time it should not double. But now I'm going to make it so that it does it all the time. Yeah, so now we should only ever get even numbers of potions. 6, 4, how much time do we have left? 7 seconds. 6, 2, it's about to run out. 2, and now it is gone. Yeah, 6 for that one. So now we got 2 coincidentally. But if we win these battles, now it's at 1, 1, 2. We should get 3 at some point. Not that I need to test this. There are 3. Yeah, cool. Now I double it again. Now we should only get even numbers again. Yeah, perfect. Okay, it's working. Now if I save this and load, it should know that I have, what, 24 seconds remaining? Yeah, nice. Nice indeed. Wow, nice, cool. Yeah, everything is good. I just played the demo for like 5 hours, really. Yeah, I'm glad you had fun, Cypher. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you think about Checkpoint 6 because we've added farming, fishing, slime perks. We're adding the Enchanter perks right now. Item stacking is in the game. Possibly there'll be some UI changes. Adventure progression is going to be revamped. So hopefully it's an even more fun game after that. Hey, Wasabi. So add loot magnet perk. Yeah. Okay, so we're done with that. Now we have this. I am running out of steam. I'm going to say that. So I don't think I have the energy to do this one, but let's take a look at some of the other ones because I think we can do some like lighter work. What does this say? I'm the Enchanter. I can cast spells that will affect various parts of your town. Spells cost mana, which come from the Rainbow Crystal. Click a spellbook to try casting a spell. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think it's fine. Consider making mana regen perk also give plus max mana. I like the idea, and I think we should do it. And I think this isn't so involved that I can't do it now. But it is kind of cheating. If we start you at 600 mana and then let you get up to the number I was okay with you having originally, then it just feels like an upgrade. It is an upgrade. You're getting quite a lot more mana. You just don't know that I'm shortchanging you. I already see you adding checkpoint 6. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why if a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, hey, how do I play this game? I'm usually like, oh, if you hold off for a bit, the game's going to get a lot better. The reason we even came up with these tasks is because we got feedback so much about these things. So there are a few things we've gotten repeated feedback on that we're not going to be addressing for the next checkpoint just because they're not important enough or whatever. We've got other things we want to do. But the biggest things should be tackled for sure. Okay, the more I think about this, the more I think this stands out a lot now that I made them fully opaque. And like, yeah, you can harvest your crops, but they're very, very apparent. We got to add in automation for that. This is so cool. It's cool seeing everything come together. Would a drag and harvest all feature be worthwhile for farming? I want to add in an auto harvest perk where your workers can just come in and harvest. But I think I'm going to accompany that with a change to the farm. Right now, you click a crop and it just gives you the food. And what I think I wanted to do is you click a crop and it puts the crop on your cursor and you have to bring it to the guild. And for you, that's not a big deal. But for the workers, it means they got to walk down here and then walk all the way over. Hey, Chirpy, welcome in. Thanks for the raid. Missed the farm dev streams? Yeah. This is brand new, and I really, really like it. Chirpy, what were you doing on stream? And welcome in, everybody. We're working on Skeleseller here. I was just showing off some of the changes that we've been working on. So I'm working on this game now for about a year, and it's a laid-back, casual, kind of idle game, but not really an idle game. I'm trying to avoid a lot of the tropes in idle games. So you hire adventurers, you send them into battle, and they earn items for you. So here we have a potion, and then your workers will pick it up and bring it to your shop. Or well, no, they won't, because they'll bring it to my farm, actually. Okay, there we go. They'll bring it to my shop, and then these customers that are running around can buy the items, and you use the money to upgrade your town. So the thing we were coding last was this. We've added in some perks for the Enchanter. This is a system where you can cast spells, and the spells modify parts of your town. So like this makes customers move even faster. This makes workers move even faster. This gives a chance to double the amount of loot you can get, which I don't have enough mana for that. Yeah, and I was showing off the farm. So the farm has this seed maker. If you turn this on, your workers will bring your potions here. And by bringing potions here, it'll plant seeds and they'll automatically grow. So yeah, we need an auto harvest at some point. I think making it so you can manually harvest more quickly is probably not going to be worth it once you can auto harvest. I'm working on my horror game. Did I raid you? No, I didn't. Okay, I was gonna say I've rated like 3 different people who are working on horror games, and I forgot the names, so apologies. But that's cool. What are you making your game in? And hey, Vinny, I'm a retired android. Yeah, so the next thing I think we're gonna work on today is to make it so that you raise your maximum mana when you upgrade your mana regeneration. But I guess that's an interesting question, which is, should the max mana and mana regen perks be different or the same? Well, I guess, should there be individual perks for max mana and mana regen? I'm leaning toward having one perk that buffs both things. I think that's probably better. Making it in Unity, Art, and Sprite. Nice. Yeah. I can't play horror games. There was a game a long time ago. Oh man, I'd be surprised if I even remembered what this game was called. First person horror game. Oh, I think it was this, which is a fitting name for a game that I didn't fully remember. I think I played this for like 20 minutes and nothing happened, and I was terrified the whole time. And then I stopped because I was worried that something would happen. So I just don't tend to play these. Can't either. Most ironic development ever. Yeah, I like the idea of making a horror game, I guess. Although not having played them, I don't know what exactly I would do. Balatro has been super popular lately, and apparently the creator of Balatro never played other games in the genre while making it. And I don't know if they played the games before making Balatro, but they made a hit, and I don't think you necessarily need to have experienced these other games in order to make a better game than they did. But I think it's much tougher if you haven't played them. Scared myself like 20 times playing my own game. That's probably a really good sign. I think if as a developer you can still be scared, that it probably means that your players will be scared. Because one of the things that generally doesn't hold true is, as a developer, I think you tend to get more skilled than your average player will be. So then it's harder for you to gauge the difficulty. And I would have expected that to happen with horror games, where you become sort of inoculated to the horror that happens. A cool original origin story blog post recently about that and other stuff. Yeah, I haven't played Balatro, although I think I would like it. All right, so let's just have it be one perk that modifies your maximum mana, which means we need to change how max mana works. It's not just going to be a constant anymore. It's going to be something that you upgrade. It's going to be something that you upgrade through something that I have now misnamed to be mana regen. I guess we'll call it mana crystal, which I should probably do correctly. Yeah, and then we should probably even rename Enchanter mana regen to be mana crystal. And then delete the mana regen. And then that should have a UID file, which was never created, which means I need to probably do that too, huh? Yep. All right, I'll write that down. Run UID tool. Yeah. Have you thought about being able to gain spells as rewards from battles instead of all of them being available from the beginning? We were just talking about this earlier, not about from battle, but what if you paid to unlock the spells? And I just thought people probably wouldn't experiment that way. If you earn them from battle, it could potentially work. One of the problems I have with earning anything functional from a battle, though, is communicating to you that you've earned it. So right now, the way that items work, and I'm sure you've seen this a million times, is they just go into your warehouse if you have space. So if you don't have space, they're going to drop on the ground. What if you got a spell and you didn't have space and it dropped on the ground and you're like, what do I do with that? It's just another item to sell. So like, I'll just leave it there and it disappears or the slime eats it. So that's where I'm not totally sold that something should come from battle. I think it should be an obvious, like you have to perform an action to get this thing. But it could be a more fun manifestation than just spending the money, I guess. Oh, thanks, Chirpy. Yeah, for those who haven't seen the Steam page, it is here. And I was just talking about this before lunch, but I've got the wish list count here. I've not updated it. Oh, I did update it. Wait, what? I just didn't update this. Okay, anyway, we're at 1,405 wish list. This is not updated in real time. So tomorrow it's going to say at least 1,406, hopefully. Will it have a casino? No. No. Oh, it's a mana crystal. We're going to give you mana per second, and we're also going to give you max mana. Max mana values. So we start you at 600, and we work you up to 1,000. Now, if you look at mana regeneration values, these are not linear. It's 3, 4, 5, and then it goes to 7, and then it jumps to 10. But these are linear. I don't really think I care about that. But just something to note. I want a conveyor belt that takes my items into assemblers and allows me to craft stuff. Then I can refine oil and create research potions and research casinos. 1407. Nice. Thanks, Nick. That rename affects the save file, right? No, because this is a rename of the like the human visible name, I guess. We're still going to have the save file contain a 102. Would you choose Godot again if you were choosing now? Yeah, I think so. I like Godot. I think Unreal would probably also be a choice that I would consider, but I don't know how well it's suited for 2D games. And I don't think I'd want to make this a 3D game. All right, so there are max mana values. Now we need the same general thing here. We have mana per second. This is used here. We need to set in the mana crystal what its max mana is. And I think we should just make this public as a result of it. We already have a public thing, so we could just make a setter here. Oh, we have a setter here. Oh, that's for mana, not max mana. What upgrades this? Just the perk, right? Yeah, okay. Let's do that then. Public int max mana. I guess we need to store those too. This isn't going to be game constants on anything anymore. It's going to be Enchanter mana. Ooh, that's a dumb name. It's not even named correctly here. Oh, God. I messed everything up. We have a mana crystal class, and now we have Enchanter mana crystal. We should probably have called this like, well, I guess it's in the ability folder. Yeah, it's probably fine. So this is not mana regeneration. This is like, I don't know what we should call this. Mana. I'm not, I'll have to think of a name for this come up with a better name. I'll do this before I check in, but for now, let's just call it more mana. Oh yeah, I totally understand, Chirpy. Yeah. And thanks for the raid. I hope you have a good one. Hope your game does well. Hope you don't scare yourself too many more times. But I kind of do because it's a horror game, and that means it's doing well. Okay, so this gives you two more things. This gives you max mana. So this is Maybe we should call it like, oh man, you know what we should probably do? We should probably increase the actual look of the crystal here. Like it should have little swirly things around it. It should get bigger. Yeah, that'd be a nice change for later. And that way we could actually just work that right in the title of this. That could be explained in the battle selection menu. Something like winning this battle will unlock a new spell at the Enchanter. So don't treat spells as regular loot that drops on the floor. Yeah, I th I think if we did that, I think what we'd probably want to do is do something like what we do for quests, where we have you start a quest, which by the way, people skip this text, so I don't even think they read that there's a special reward. But we'd have something like that, and then when you accept the quest, it's like go fetch this many items, and completing this will get you a new spell. But I still think the communication of that is going to be much harder than just a perk that you get. So for now, it's just going to be perks, I guess. But yeah, we can take a look at again in the future. All right, so what are we saying here? Your mana crystal stores more mana and recharges faster, allowing you to cast spells more frequently. I think let's just leave it at that, and you can draw the conclusion yourself. Do you have a roadmap in the game? Like if the player's kind of lost on what to do? The beginning of the game teaches you how to play, and it does a pretty good job of it. It's not great, it's not perfect, but I've watched enough people play and I've seen everywhere that they've gotten stuck, and I've written it down and tried to correct as many as I could. After that, it just kind of tells you like, okay, explore, like do more of the stuff you've been doing. And people do generally kind of get what they have to do. They don't always understand why they're doing it. That's that's a different problem. We eventually need the intro of the game to tell you how you became a skeleton, and probably at some point give you little nudges for a storyline, which we don't have. Hey, Pressel, I have maybe learned something. All right, max mana bonus, we can put like that, and we can get max mana values. All right, so this is get mana per second. I guess we also want a get max mana and return max mana values on the level. Then in the mana crystal, we're going to set the max mana here. Let me think about this. This is only every time you upgrade the spell. And we could store it directly in the save data of the Enchanter. What do we have right now in Enchanter save data? We save how much mana you have, not your max mana. We save your spell level, though. There's not really a problem with restoring this here either, is there? I don't think so. Well, we need to detect when you've upgraded the ability. And then when you load from a file, we need to do something certain too. Let me think about this. Detecting when you upgraded the ability could be something that we just do through here. There could be a public override level changed. And this could do something like town.enchanterden. I don't know, upgrade max mana. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. I can think of some slightly better ways I might want to do this in the future, but let's start with this and then see if I want to change this. All right. So this is going to change your mana crystal. Just set this to whatever it should be, basically. Which is going to... Oh, nice. We already have this. Well, that was easy. Oh, man. All right, now what do we start this at? Enchanter mana crystal dot max mana value 0. When you load from a save file, we're gonna have to do this. This shouldn't even exist. Just delete that. And then when you set this, oh, that was easy. Oh, so when you right click it, we're gonna set this to whatever your max mana currently is. Same thing with this. There's just gonna be max mana. And then this is the Enchanter Mana Crystal. There we go. All right, there's one thing that's weird about this, and I guess it's just that this is public. It really should only be settable through the Enchanter Crystal, or through the Enchanter Den. And right now, technically, anyone could change this. But the only thing that really has a reference to the Enchanter, the Mana Crystal, I keep misspeaking, is the Enchanter Den. We are not handling this properly when we load from a save file, though, so we need to go do that. So the very first thing we do is max mana. Oh, we could just do it this way. Upgraded max mana. Just shouldn't be called that. Set max mana based on perks. Or update max mana. That is fine. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, we just have a couple of quick things we need to fix. That's one. And the other one is this. That apparently comes from the Mana Crystal. Which means I also needed to modify that here. Great. Let's go try it out. So you should start with 600 mana and... Oh, that is... Oh, I know what this is. I actually have a note written about this. This should be based on the max mana that we have. Yeah. So that our loading bar doesn't break. It's an integer value though. Yeah, 600 now instead of 400. Okay, so we build this. Our crystal starts at 600 mana and spells cost 400. So if I click this, it takes the majority of it. But then I upgrade this. I don't have the money. All right, so I upgrade this. It's currently regenerating at 3 per second. Yeah. I upgrade it once. Now we are at 700 max mana, regenerating at 4 per second. So if I save this, we were at roughly 255 out of 700. Yep, nice. Nice, nice, nice. I build another couple of these. Now we're at 289 out of 900. Yeah, perfect. All right, it's loading well. Still at Salesforce, just going to ride on until next year. Job market is cooked. Yeah, things are a little crazy right now. Don't want to go back to AWS, yeah. I will say this. There's more than just AWS at Amazon, but if you've been at Amazon, I feel like you already know enough about how the company's culture is. Hey, Darth Maul. Yeah, I made some YouTube shorts. I believe a certain someone promised a certain something yesterday. I shall remind you of the promise in case you don't recall. I'll download it tomorrow. Tomorrow's almost over. Rather just go to AWS than Amazon. Super boring in Amazon. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you made a decision about Salesforce. And I think it's probably the right move for now. Unless you're like super burned out there. All right, so we're going to hold off on this one. I'll move that up. This is done. And it's hopefully working. And then this is done. Let's check that in. KE is a global emote? What? What is going on with this thing? I honestly don't understand that. Right? What's another global emote that exists? Like Kappa, right? It says emote colon Kappa. This says emote colon KE. What happened here? Doesn't happen on my screen? Why'd this happen on mine? I think what it did is it took the colon P from here, but how did that? Yeah, weird. Yeah, it doesn't happen for anyone else's messages. Hang on a second. What if I type fake? Huh. I'm only happy for that one message. Very strange. I was going to quiet quit. I wish they'd just lay me off. They keep giving me RSU refreshers. I feel like if quiet quit is the term I think it is, that it just means like doing your job and not trying to get promoted, which I think is totally fine. But if it means like slacking off and coasting, then I'm a little torn on that. Look at what you've done, Kevin. Oh wait, it happened for you again here. I wonder if it's just when you reply to somebody. Now it says emote AKE. Huh, very strange. Yeah, it's a reply. Interesting. Oh, we never came up with a better name for this. Is more mana a good name or no? Your mana crystal stores more mana and recharges faster. Maybe it should just be something a little more flavorful, like mana frenzy. I don't know. Oh, I am burnt out on creative energy, huh? What's a word? Mega mana. I don't think that's good. I think more mana is fine. It's just whatever. I don't want potency for all of them. I wanted it to be for the spell books. Mana stonks. That's a great one. We should even include a little chart emoji. Yeah, Mega Mana X 2. And then we'll show a little picture of Dr. Light in a game. All right, this is looking good. Yep, yep, yep. Yep. Cool, it's all looking good. All right, so improve mana perk instead of, oh, wait, one last thing. Max mana bonus. No, that's wrong. It's max mana, not max mana bonus. There. Whew. That was close. People would not have forgiven that blunder. Instead of just increasing your mana regeneration rate, I cannot type the word regeneration on this keyboard. Instead of increasing just your mana regeneration rate, it will also increase your maximum mana. Cool. Can you make a stock market in the game? So the idea of an investment that you'd have in the game, I think could be interesting. The idea of like an actual stock market you have to pay attention to and buy and sell at certain times, I'm not as keen on. There was another game called Stimulation Clicker, and it had a stock market thing, and it was the whole point of this game was to be overstimulating. And the stock market thing, I just, man, something was happening constantly in that game. Buy high, sell low. That's how it works. Lose all your money. Sell some more Skellas. Stock marketing cookie clicker. Is cookie clicker getting updates still? Release 2021 on Steam. What does WW mean? Walter White? Why are there question marks over this? I'm so confused. All I know is that KE is equal to a hung base. Wait, really? C418 composed that? Wow. I wonder what else C418 made. Because I know Minecraft is there, but like, what other games is they just randomly make the music for? Nothing I've played. All right, let's publish the branch. What haven't we done that we wanted to do? Auto casting spells, is that it? Did I want anything else here? Spells last longer, higher max mana, that's done. Mana regeneration increase, spells get more powerful, spells get auto cast. Like the individual spells themselves, other things. What do we have here? Put a radio button next to these things. I don't really like this idea. We have the buttons somewhere. I don't know where those are. They were in some switches pack. Just search for switches, I guess. Yeah, those buttons. I don't know how I feel about that. Let me think about this a little bit more. Put a button next to each lectern that lets you toggle auto casting. All can be off, but if one is on, then cast that spell. It's not like this is hard to code. It's just I'm a little concerned that if we have a button next to every spell, it's not gonna be obvious what that does. We need a special hover over thing just for that. But how else would you control this? Because right now you have to left click to cast a spell. This would automatically cast it when you have enough mana. Which I love the idea of that. I feel like we have to do this. And I think we have to indicate this somehow. And I think a button is good enough. Let's try it. Yeah. I'm not going to do this right now. Like I said, I don't think I have the energy for that. But we'll write this down. Add a tooltip when you hover over the button that tells you what it does. I wonder if we should also make this into a generic component, like a set of in-game radio buttons. I don't think we need to do that. Yeah, I don't think we need to do that. It's gonna be like Super Mario 64. Goes back in time. Take that, Koji Kondo. I don't know what you have or have not gotten feedback for, so I've submitted one. Maybe it'll help. Still a very fun game. Yeah, thank you. And it'll be interesting to read yours and see what do we already have planned. I'll give you a quick rundown of what we've done or what we have planned. And you've seen some of this as you've seen me working on it. But we added in farming and fishing. So we have the fishing pond here, and we have the farm over here. And both work kind of the same way in that you turn on this machine, and then any potions will be brought directly to the machine. And in this case, they'll turn into fish eggs. And in this case, they'll turn into seeds. And then you use these things to eventually upgrade your adventure stats. So the whole adventure progression getting revamped is a big one. A lot of the problem we have right now is that every time you beat an elite, you level up, but all of your adventurers level up. And that leads to problems like this, where you hire a new adventurer and it's already level 3 or 4. And then you're like, oh, I've got 3 skill points. Like, okay, I guess I'll put them like that. And you just don't even read anything. I've seen enough people play the game like that I think it's a problem. So we're going to change how you get skill points. We're going to change how you get stats. You're going to have those 2 new systems, and then they're going to be perks for more of the existing systems. So the slime already has 3 perks here. The enchanter has 4 perks, and we'll have a 5th one soon. The farm, which is a brand new system, will have 3 or 4. I'm going to need to add an automation, and the fishing pond has 3. Is the gauge real? No, it's just a sprite for right now. These graphics are going to get replaced. Kevin hodgepodge together some of the graphics we already have. And it kind of works maybe for this one, but it's a little less convincing for this, I think. This is good though, yeah. How are you thinking of changing skill points? So we haven't done it yet, but the plan is this. We add rare items to the game, and there are only 2 categories at first. Valuable rare items and skill gems. And skill gems are how you get skill points. So maybe like your first skill point costs, I don't know, 10 gems. And then your second one costs, I'm making up numbers here, 25 gems and so on and so forth. So when you found enough of these skill gems from battle, you can put your first skill point into your first adventure, let's say. And then if you want, rather than always distribute it to your next one, with your next 10, you could save up and put 25 into your first one again, and now have 2 skill points there. And there's going to be a limit to how many you can put in at any given phase in the game. So you can't get like 40 skill points in one adventure. But that way you can customize your characters a little bit more. Because right now there's really no customization beyond where you put your skill points. And you don't get to pick who even gets the skill points. So it's like your stats just rise. Everyone's rise at the same time. Their skill points rise at the same time. And yeah, people have said they wanted some like, I want to invest in the rogue. Okay, cool. You can do that on that playthrough. And on the next playthrough, try a warrior build or something. I don't know. Can we do quick side missions? I mean, quests are already in the game, if that's what you're talking about. So you can start a quest that asks for a certain amount of items and then like go find the items. So we can just auto battle here. It's my words per minute record. I've only got a joke answer for that. We should probably add a switch for the quest that makes workers bring stuff to the quest first. Or turn off the quest. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. They can't all look like a mechanical switch, though. Maybe you can just open or close the treasure chest. Yeah, that could work. Anyway, yeah, so the quests are in the game already. And just the reward's going to change. And then what else do we have here? I think that's the bulk of it. Yeah, I think that's the bulk of it. What keyboard is this? This is a Corn keyboard. Corne. It's a 36 key keyboard, and since everyone always asks, the way it works is you got letters like normal, but then you hold another key and they turn into numbers, and you hold another key and they turn into symbols. You hold another key and you got arrow keys and whatever else, and I can like close tabs easily and switch between different windows on my operating system. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Oh, and then one of the other changes we wanted to do, where is this? We wanted to use, there's an overworld pack here somewhere. There. We want to use these sprites. I guess this looks bad. Let me just pull it up like this. Here. Yeah. We want to use these sprites for the battle map. Right now we have like a totally different art style in the game. And this was always intended to be a placeholder. But I'd like for this to be in the next checkpoint as well. I think it'll look good. Give a lot more feeling and control for the player to manually decide what skills they want from what adventurers instead of them already being there. Did find myself not reading through all of them too. Yeah, and there are certain things where if one player out of 1,000 does something, you could probably reasonably blame the player. But if, you know, half your players are just skipping over skill points, it's like, well, it's probably a game problem. And yeah, I think it is. I think when we give you 6 skill points on a new adventurer, it's like, yeah, you're not going to read all these things. It's just too much. It's the reason why we changed skills in the first place. The way they used to be is that there were 4 skills per adventurer and you had access to all of them from the get-go. And someone gave me the feedback, they're like, this is too much reading. Like, just give me 2 skills and have me pick between those. Like, okay, sounds good. And then, yeah, we violated that principle ourselves. Hey, Justin. Yeah, I'm using Colmac. I don't know what it would take to get me to switch back to QWERTY, but I do still feel like I'm not as accurate with Colmac. Like I was typing the word regeneration and I can type it and it's not like super slow, but I was making a lot of typos. And I just feel like on QWERTY, I've typed that word enough where I'm probably just not making mistakes. Oh, we might as well run the UID tool now. Oh, I'll need to run it again anyway. Doesn't seem like you can do those nice rounded terrain shapes. I guess they're only for the showcase. Yeah, there's so many tricks with tile maps that you have to do. I think I closed it already, but I know what you're talking about. There was that like rounded stone area. Venetian. Easy. You showed me. Oh, wow, this modified... Wait, what? Why modify the scene files? I never understood this change. How do we ever get a scene that doesn't have a UID in it? I guess because the UID file didn't exist? But these aren't new. Whatever, I'm going to check this in. Add UIDs. I just ran the tool in Godot. I didn't manually change anything. Ooh, whoops, 2 eyes there. Okay, in general, this is going great. Really, truly, it is. We're almost done with this. I might even just do this tomorrow. I don't know. Man, maybe I should stream tomorrow morning and just get this done and nothing else. I might do that. Consider streaming just to finish the Enchanter perks. Yeah. What's next after that, though? Because this was meant to be a little bit of an interlude. You know what would be nice? Maybe we should do this. Maybe Friday should be a music stream. Because I am feeling a tiny bit like I want a break. And today, it's not... I'm dragging my feet a little bit right this second, but in general, I hit the amount of time I wanted to be streaming for. So it's not like I'm like, oh, it's been 10 minutes, I'm done now. But yeah, I want to do another music stream because I want there to be a fourth town track, and I've been working on some stuff just on piano. So maybe we'll just do some improv stuff. That might work. I'll write that down. Well, I guess I need to write it down for Thursday. Music stream for tomorrow. Would need to set up the office. And then Friday journal. 2 hours. Yeah, nice. Okay, so slime perks are done. We designed these things. Perks for the Enchanter. Yeah, we can start with rare items and skill gems on Monday, then adventure progression. There's a lot of UI work here. And then what will that put us at? It's March 12th right now. Can I open up the calendar thing here? What? Okay, sure. So if we get done with that then, and then we start adventure progression, even if that took us the rest, like a whole week. Would it make sense that it takes a week? Maybe it would. That would put us at the 26th. And I'd like to launch checkpoint 6 in early April if possible. We could aim for the 4th or maybe the 11th. Because there's a lot of stabilization I want to do and balance testing and stuff. Yeah, why don't we aim for the 11th maybe? I'll tentatively write that down. Checkpoint 6 tentative date 4/11/25. Darth Maul. Oh man, and shoot, I'm totally happy to answer your questions now that you've tried the game. I just can't help but laugh at this. Oh boy. I don't want to collect this stuff up. I guess this would be the afternoon task that we have. Yeah, maybe I will stream tomorrow morning then. It'll be a busy day. I want to keep Tuesdays for YouTube shorts. And I looked at the short over the lunch break. It looks like it's doing pretty well actually. Although the number of likes has dropped even further. Or number of dislikes has increased, I should say. But yeah, total number of views is going up, and this isn't stable anymore. The saddest thing that happens with YouTube videos is this point. Where you're like, oh, it's shooting up, and then it just stops. And that's the algorithms just saying, I stopped caring about you. And I don't know what caused that, but thankfully it happened, I guess. So yeah, hopefully we see more wish lists tomorrow than normal. No, it's okay, Darth Maul. And I'm glad you agreed to try it out. I think if you were just like, I'm not going to do it, and I'm... I think that would have been frustrating. But yeah, I'm glad you tried it. And yeah, feel free to ask questions. Probably Discord's a better place at this point. Because I'm probably going to be wrapping up the stream pretty soon. But it's been good. I mean, really, like, I'll show off the progress for those who haven't seen. Not all of it was today, but I'm going to act like it was all today. So let me show you the progress. We did 2 main things. One is we finished the garbage slime perks. I think at the beginning of today, we only had this one. And we designed this one, Seek Food. So the way this works is, let me just fully upgrade this. The way this works is that the slime will not let your items disappear when you've maxed it out. So normally after 20 seconds, your items disappear. Let's speed this up a little bit. So before they have a chance to go away, the slime will just consume them all. And then the other thing we changed is allow you to critically eat. So now if I drag some items onto this, there's a critical eat. And if I just keep doing this, it's a 45% chance that feels like it's a 10% chance. I don't think anything's broken there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we added that in. And then we also worked on the Enchanter perk. So all of these are new. One of them is increase your max mana and your mana regeneration rate. And the other ones are just to increase the potency of the spells that you have. So, oh, and we also made the spell books animate differently. So they now have an open graphic. They have an outline, the color of the spell, and they emit some particles. The sign can be ignored. The sign's a bug from a debug feature. In fact, if I just save and load, it should go away. Yeah. So yeah, you see the little particles coming off here. They're very subtle. Like they might as well not exist. And that's it. That was the progress from today. But I think that was pretty good. So, yeah, the cursor's a skeletal hand, but the thing that might not be obvious is why are you a skeleton in the game? And that's only answered here for right now. The story of the game is this. Your dream is to be an adventurer. You're out questing one day when you encounter a poisonous snake. You win the fight, but the poison is dealing 1 HP of damage every so often. You head to the nearest town. There are no shops open. You can't find an antidote. You die. You come back as a skeleton. You decide your fate should never befall another adventurer. You open up your own shop, etc., etc. Rainbow mana instead of just boring old blue mana? Yeah, we always had the rainbow mana crystal there, but we also had spell crystals, and we got rid of the spell crystals. The purple flashing pixels are still in the portal. That wasn't the reason we upgraded. That happened as a result of upgrading, and I just never reported it. But I think it's a Godot problem. What did I change here? Oh, the UID stuff. Okay, let's go find someone to raid. So yeah, what I'm thinking of doing, and this is not normal, I'm thinking of streaming tomorrow morning just to finish this feature up. And then I'm thinking of having Friday be a music stream. So if you haven't seen the music streams before, tone your expectations way down. Let's see if we have this. If I just search for music. Yeah, so expect something like this. It'll be me at a piano, not me coding, me making bad music. So yeah, expect that. And that's the right expectation. I will not be singing anything. I don't think people want to watch me sing. All right, let's go find someone to raid. Same category, English. And we're just looking for people with low uptime here that I'm not already following. If I followed someone, it means I rated them before. That's what I try to do. And the low uptime is just so that they're not like, okay, well, I'm leaving now. It's been 3.5 hours. See ya. Yeah, this person sounds like we'll raid them. Okay, sure. Cool, cool, cool. Well, let's figure out how to move this window the way that I'm trying to move it. All right. Windy will sing for us. Okay, cool. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, tomorrow morning I should be streaming and we should do a little bit of code, and then that'll be the end of the code for the week probably. So thank you very much. If you haven't wishlisted the game, there's a link. And let's go check out this person together. I don't think I've ever seen them, Hypnotic Games. So we'll watch them together. Have a good rest of your Wednesday though. Take care. Bye everybody.